Hello everyone and welcome back to this video number 7 in the series of videos where I demonstrate the development and fine-tuning of the Kadestack project with the Cadence theme and quality hosting on 20i. We are working with our demo project, which is one of the Cadence starter templates, in principle just out of the box. And we are also working with the standard so far settings in 20i in their stack cache plugin or CDN and optimization system. And although the page speed is not that bad with this full site or full page full of images and so on, I would like to have it even better, and let's see how we can do that. You can see that everything is fine and good, especially the TTFB, time to first byte, which is 44 milliseconds, and this is in Vancouver now. It's not even in, so this is through the CDN network, and I will show you a trick where you can see if this is coming through 20i's stack cache network or not, or CDN or not. Let's do the F12 and let's see that network is selected. Let's do Control R for refresh. Let's select the basic site, and we can first have a look at TTFB here on directly to our browser. I'm located now in Moscow, Russia, so it can influence, of course, depending on the node of the CDN. But still, it's reasonable. If it's below 200 milliseconds, you know, it's a good value. And let's see how we can look at if it's cached or not. And this we do by selecting headers. And we are going to look for this one, XCDN cache status. So if it's a hit here, it means that it's coming in to my browser here through the CDN network of 20i. It doesn't mean, but it probably is, that it's coming into this test site in Vancouver too, the same way. We can't watch it here. We could, of course, if we used a VPS or something connecting to, or VPN connecting to somewhere else. But anyhow, it seems like the cache is working and the CDN is working. And here we have the values. So I will pause now and I will do some tweak, and I will show you which tweak I did, and I will show you the result. So here we are back after some tweaking and some addition of optimization plugins, which I earlier said was not needed, but I renegotiated on that, and I think with some clever tweaking of some extra, 2 extra plugins, we can make this site load even, or this page loads even faster on our hosting. Not that it was extremely bad before, but let's see if I manage to make it better. So here we are in the front page, on the front page of our starter template, and let's just refresh it so you see that it's live. And let's also check that we have the CDN working. We press F12 again. We pull this up a little bit. We do a refresh, either Control R or Control F5. Do a Control R. We check in the main operator here, and we check on the headers, and we see that we have 2 miss, which we shouldn't have. So we refresh a couple of more times, because it's like this. When I'm right now in Moscow, and the 20i CDN has actually a node in Moscow, but if this site hasn't been fetched, or this page hasn't been fetched for a long time, it sort of takes, it will renew if it passed the last valid date of the cache. So let's renew again. Let's look at this item. And here you see now that we have a hit on the CDN cache status. We have a hit, and we have a miss on the origin, which we should have a miss because we don't want to get anything from the origin. And it also means that if we look at the timing, that we should have a reasonable short TTFB. It's a little bit too long in my taste, but as long as it's below 200 milliseconds, it's good enough, at least for Google. Probably for human experience, it's good enough if it's something under 600 milliseconds. If you start to be above 600, then you should do something with your host, or with your CDN for that matter. Let's do another refresh just to see if we can get it down even more. Yeah, here you see now it's down to 77.82 milliseconds, and that way it should be somewhere between 50 and 100 milliseconds is normal for the CDN and caching. But let's now see what the result is. Now we know that it's cached. Let's see what we have on the Google page speed. This I made a while ago. Let's refresh it, make a new analysis, so you see that we are not cheating here. And here you see for mobile 97. You remember we were well down on the lower orange previous time before we made this tweak, which I will show you soon. And on desktop we have 98. It's clearly approved by Google, and this is, remember now, this is a full homepage with a lot of images with everything loaded from the starter template, which you will do approximately the same. If you make it lighter on the front end, less images, okay, there's no video here, but still, if you make less images, it will be even better. And you see we have everything in green here. Let's do a test for GTmetrix 2. Now it maybe hasn't been fetched for a while here from London this time, but we will see. Maybe we have to do it twice. Well, you see here it's quite good, and here you see how they measure the TTFB, time to first byte, and it's approximately the same as we saw in Moscow. It's the same in London, 64 milliseconds. And let's look at the performance in general. There's really not much to do here. Everything is fine. Let's look at the waterfall. Also fine. Everything. There was one thing I want to show you here. But it's actually been probably so small so I can't show you, and that's about the font. I will come back to that in a second, because this page has a lot of Google fonts, and that can really mess up the page speed. But in this case it looks quite good, everything. So what did I now do to make this happen? You remember we were in the orange before, upper orange for desktop, and the middle orange for the mobile. Let's go back and show you. This is the cPanel, and let's first look at, let's start to look at what we added. We added, and this is a little bit, like almost against the rules for 20i, because they say don't install any other caching or optimization plugins. It's not needed, but actually as I discovered here, it is. So I installed WP Rocket. This is a test version of WP Rocket, so it has no license for it right now, and it's not needed for this test. It's work out of the box with the cache, and here is the real big difference. The mobile cache, which I must admit, and I will tell it to the guys at 20i, that it really doesn't work very well for 20i. But this is the main thing that pulled the mobile data up from middle or even lower orange to upper green. So this is very, very useful. Then I actually did another thing here, and that is that I let WP Rocket take over the CSS and the Java optimization. And that's, you could easily have this, when you check this first time, it warned you that it might break the site. It didn't break the site, neither this, neither the combination. What did break the site was this optimized CSS. So I managed to do it on a other test site, but here it broke the page, so don't use this. Java, no problem. All of this fine, it works perfectly, and it helps the optimization. We did nothing with media, and I will show you why. We did, database is just an add-on you have where you can, this has really nothing to do with the dynamic optimization. This is something you do once or twice a month or week, depending on how much you work on the site. And we also have the heartbeat here, which is also not in the 20i. We don't have any compression from Rocket, WP Rocket. We didn't install the Magify, and I will tell you why. That's it. And then we did one other small tweak for the backend, for the plugin, and we installed something called Optimize Google Fonts. That's a plugin called OMGF, Optimize My Google Fonts. Oh my God, fonts, maybe we can say also, because this is really, really useful. But there is a but here. You need to have the Pro version, and it's not that expensive, but you still need it because of, I will show you why, because of this, that it should pick from, actually this one, it should pick from Google itself, not only from the ordinary server. So that's why you need this Pro version. It's possible to run it without this. Cadence has a quite good font management itself, and it helps by WP Rocket, WP Rocket 2. But this makes a big difference, also helps for mobile, I would say. So I recommend that you use this. It's absolutely not necessary. Nothing of this is necessary. I mean, no user really makes the difference, notice the difference between middle or upper orange and lower green, for example, in Google PageSpeed inside. But of course it's more good, the more you can tweak it, especially if you plan to use it for ranking for keywords. If you don't want to do that, it really doesn't matter much. So that is it, and as you see, we have all those plugins which we used previous. We have the Child Builder, we have the Fresh Start, we have the Cadence Box, the Defender from VPM UDev, the Rank Math, and the Pretty Links. So everything is ready to run and to rock and roll with this site. Let me then just show you what happened on the backside. So you have to go back and watch the other movies to see the other videos, to see the how this setting works, and where I go into it more in detail. But before, we had all optimization was made by the server, in the server, by the stack cache system. Now, since I let WP Rocket take over most of it, I skipped the HTML optimization here, I skipped the JavaScript optimization, I skipped the CSS optimization. The only thing that is left, and which works very well, is the image optimization. We could use other image optimization, as you saw in Imagify in the WP Rocket itself, and we also have access to Smush Pro, WP Smush Pro from VPM UDev. I tried with at least with Smush. It didn't become better. It became approximately the same as this. So that's why it's better not to have an extra plugin, just to let the server and the stack cache system take over. So this is how it looks on the backside now. On the edge caching, it's all the same. So in principle we are letting WP Rocket do some of the things, but we use the caching from the server, and we use the image optimization from the server, and that what gave us the result which you just saw here or see here. I think this is quite good, and now I can with good conscience say that this is the way I will leave this site for you when this will be available for sale. Actually, it's already available for sale, I can say, if you want to press the buy button on Kadestack.com, but that it's a little bit in a beta still. Right, that's it for this video. And this was video number 7, where you learned how to that nothing is so good so it can't be made better. And we made the caching, and not the CDN really, but the caching we made better with WP Rocket and also with the OMGF font optimization. Thank you for watching this, and we'll see you in the next video, which most likely will be a sort of sales presentation for this Kadestack clone site hosting project.